Okay, Jeff, you are all set.
All right, I'd like to call the Vernon Town Board of Supervisors meeting to order. The absent of Tom Bird, is there a motion to elect a chairman for tonight?
So moved. Nominated.
Who you elected?
I'll nominate you, Jeff, for chair for the night.
All in favor of electing me as chairman for tonight?
Yes.
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries.
What would happen if we would say no, we wouldn't elect anybody?
And we'd go home.
We all go home.
All right, rise for the pledge of allegiance. I pledge
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Roll call, Madam Clerk.
Chairman Thomas Bird is absent. Supervisor Jeff Millies.
Present.
Supervisor Gary Wildy.
Present.
Supervisor Ed Moline.
Present.
Supervisor Bill Craig.
Present.
Note for the record that you do have a quorum of your board. Mr. Acting Chairman, DPW Director John Henneberry is here, the Treasurer is here, and you do have a quorum of your board. I also want to tell you, Jeff, that the agenda was posted inside and outside the Vernon Town Hall, to the website, to the media, to other entities within the town of Vernon. You're in full compliance with the open meetings law.
Are there any public comments? Public comments? Hearing none, we'll move on to possible closed session tonight. Consideration and possible action on a motion to convene the executive session of Wisconsin Statute 19.85, parentheses 1, subsection E, deliberating, negotiating, and purchasing of public properties, and investing in public funds, or conducting other specific public business whenever competitive or bargaining reasons require a closed session, more specifically negotiations for a board agreement with the Village of Quantico, and consideration of employment, promotion, compensation, performance, evaluation of any public employee over which governmental body's jurisdiction or exercise responsibility, more specifically the Vernon Fire Chief, including the closed session, our town board members and town clerk. Motion will require a roll call vote. Miscellaneous matters. Operator's bartender license for Mike Kudik. You want to come sit in the center here? And Karen, has everything been?
Yes. I'm sorry. Mr. Hudik has completed all his courses. All fees have been paid. And he is here before you to ask for his license. Although it's not relevant to the business, but he will be working at Cerny's and soon to be R&S Midway Market.
There has been no offenses according to his criminal record in the past 5 years.
That is correct.
Some previously. Is there a need to explain any of those at this time, or?
No.
Okay.
Can I walk to work?
He's close enough.
Anybody have any questions for Mr. Kudik? Is there a motion to approve the operator's license?
I'll make a motion to approve the operator's license. Say it for Michael Kudik.
Yes,
I need to say for where he's going to be working.
No, because he can work anywhere in Vernon.
None.
Second.
Discussion? Hearing none. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried unanimously.
Thank you.
Karen will be in touch with you.
Here it is.
Like Jimmy Johnson.
Thanks, Mike. Good luck.
Do we need to move John?
No. You're good.
You might want to ask Lorene, because Lorene, you're here for those two ordinances that they're going to table.
Oh, that'd be lovely.
They're going to table? Yeah. The taxation and finance, those two ordinances that Tom wanted on the agenda. No, but they're going to. Remember, you talked to the attorney. He said to table till Tom comes back.
J and K. Those are items J and K. Okay, so discussion of taxation and finance ordinance and discussion of officers and employees ordinance. I did speak with Tom about those, and he did have some ideas. He was hoping to work with Ed and Joe, because you guys kind of wrote these in the past, and he just had some few minor changes he wanted to tweak, just so you guys were aware of them.
What was that in reference to, I'm sorry?
Items J and K.
On the agenda, yeah.
J and K, okay.
He wants to discuss them at the next board meeting.
Table for the.
Table on that, and he wanted
So you're
to
not sitting
run some
over
ideas
me.
past you guys.
Okay.
And maybe give them to Lorene too, whatever. All I know is that Tom had some ideas and no one knows what they are,
Yeah, it's,
so call him Lorene. I just didn't want you sitting through the whole meeting and
Thank you.
Make a motion to adjourn, to table these.
I'll adjourn
Make a motion,
to table
Table these
to the
two?
next board meeting.
yeah, to the next board meeting. So the two items.
I'll second it. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried unanimously. All right, back to item B, request from the Village of Big Bend residents to annexation to the town of Vernon.
Jeff, I just put this, lady did call and asked to, if the board would entertain her request to annex back to the town of Vernon. And so she did send the email and is respectfully requesting, as several other people have, to come to the town of Vernon.
I think as the town of Vernon, we willing to accept her, but in order for that to occur, she has to have permission from the Village of Big Bend.
Yes.
So until that happens, we really can't do anything.
Nope.
But we would not deny her if the Village of Big Bend would approve it.
Did you want to authorize the clerk to send our letter of, your normal letter that you
Yeah.
entertain her idea, and if she can work with the village, the town would be happy to work with the village, your standard letter?
Yeah. You need a motion for that, or just,
Probably.
I'll make a motion to authorize the clerk to send the standard letter.
I'll second
But, go ahead, Bill.
I just had a question. When you're annexing outer Vernon into Big Bend, they've got to be contiguous somehow. Is that true coming back in the other direction?
I don't know.
The village would consider? It's not?
I don't
Oh,
know.
others, we'd have some kind of hodgepodge.
I can't believe that you, I mean,
We
it's
got that.
pretty consistent in the law. You wouldn't create an island
We've got islands.
that were created previous to the law.
I know.
How many requests is this now? Have you,
4.
this is the fourth request? to
That
come
this
back?
board has had, it has
And
4.
could I make a suggestion that when you send her that letter, you tell her she might want to have a conversation with the other four or 3? She's the 4th, right?
Right, what we typically do is, when we send the letter to the person that's asking for it, we also send the copies of the other letters that we sent
Oh,
to
you
the
do?
other residents.
So she'll have the names of the other people.
Yes, names and
Good.
addresses.
Mhm.
Just so they know that they're not alone.
Yeah.
And you don't want to cause any bad feelings with the village either, but, you know.
Okay.
All right,
I seconded it. We just need to
Yeah.
vote.
All in favor of the motion?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Item C, financial proposal to the Village of Big Bend for culvert replacement on Big Bend Drive. DPW Director.
Well, Eric asked me to come up with a quote to replace the 3 culverts on Big Bend Drive, because he does not have the equipment or capabilities to do so. So, with that, I guess I wanted to talk to you and get the okay before we go ahead and give him any kind of numbers. As to your thoughts and how we wanna go about that. I came up with a sheet here, I printed up some numbers, and after I talked with Ed today, I have to probably revise that a little bit as far as the labor rate on there, to include, like the insurance.
Karen can help you.
Yeah,
Right.
just,
Oh, yes.
so I just took the labor rate and the wages and not.
I'll get that
How soon do you
Yeah,
have this
right.
done?
He just was looking for something for budget reasons for this year. It won't happen, the actual replacement wouldn't happen until next year.
Okay,
It's
so
just-
it's going out of time.
Oh, absolutely, yeah. I think I just like to give him something for budget reasons, is all I'm saying right now. He might not even go this route, he might end up hiring out
Yeah.
somebody else. He's already got it engineered and it's already on paper. He's got the permits and everything. They were supposed to have this done this year, they just never had the money or the time or something.
Eric's been aware though that we're working on putting a quote together, I mean, talk to him,
Yeah,
that's fine.
Yeah.
Let's just,
I just,
Take our time.
before I give him something in writing, I just want your, approval from you guys
Okay.
and stuff, so.
and at worst case, it shouldn't turn out to be a zero budget item anyway. We'd like to make a little on it, but
Well,
zero. break
we're
even.
not gonna lose money on it, put it
Yeah,
that way, that's for
break even
sure,
on that.
so.
So we don't have to come up with a contract proposal
Yeah,
per
we-
se right now.
No,
All
No,
we need is numbers to give them so that they can do some planning.
yeah,
Okay.
absolutely. Like I
And-
said,
Go ahead,
and
John.
he's supplying all the materials, it's just us just doing the labor and,
Equipment.
the equipment, so.
and liability, we just gotta look out for it.
And I did contact the village clerk, Brad Calder, and he and I are trying to come up with a simple agreement, simple contract for both municipalities to look at, not an intermunicipal, but just something simple that protects both the village and the town in this project.
Well, I'm always
Intermunicipal
wondering,
is a four-letter word.
with the contracts, like with your
Lawyer.
paving contracts, can you kind of incorporate something like that?
Well, yeah, I know she was talking to Macy. about-
We got two examples of agreements, but
Yeah.
but it's not the contractual part, but that's what we're looking for, is something simple.
See, I'm more worried about in the future, and all of a sudden, say something goes wrong in 10 years, and they try to blame us that we installed it wrong, or tornado.
Well, they've gotta hold us, indemnable against any future.
There's
Yeah,
Yeah,
there should be a
and I'm sure a
statement
lot
to
of
that
your
effect.
contracts, you get with the road paving outline a lot of that stuff.
Yeah, I'll have to look through it basically and see what kind of wording they have in there.
Yeah, because the ones we're getting intermunicipal really aren't covering those details.
Longevity, yeah, like a warranty type deal or something down the road.
Something like
Yeah,
that,
yeah.
or, we just don't want to be held liable if something goes wrong in the future.
Any contract goes through Macy anyway, right? So he's gonna make sure we're indemnified against any legal action.
Right, and so and I've already spoken to our insurance company, Brad's, we did our initial, but the insurance is easy. It's the agreement and contract that.
And Tom, I spoke with Tom this morning, he just said, he just wants something simple, just as a one-time deal. We're
Yeah.
not, we're not making an arrangement to do all their culverts. This is a special deal, because there's
Yeah.
3 large culverts, and they just don't have the
Well,
capabilities.
pull that, and also listing if payment is received, what the insurance rate is on money owed, or interest rate, and, kind of like, when it's due by and completion date of the project. And,
Okay,
also noticing your quote includes, you listed, just to install 3 new culverts covered with compacted 3/4 CV. We're not supplying that.
correct, he's supplying the culverts and the gravel.
Maybe spell that out a little bit better in the
Okay.
contract.
This is just a
Yeah.
preliminary, like I said, I'm talking with Ed today, the numbers are gonna change a little bit as far as the labor rates probably, but
Have you gotten a copy of Big Ben specs for installation of culverts?
no, he said he's got it, and like I said, before I got too far along on all this, I wanted to make sure it was okay with you guys to even go ahead and,
Well, I'd like to
work
see
with
what
him,
the
like,
specs are, so we don't get involved in something
Yeah.
that, like, we wanna go with, some things we looked at.
yeah.
You know, with
He's
respect
got
to
it all,
City.
he's got it all engineered out, and
Okay.
DNR permits. And the reason there's 242-inch culverts and 148, DNR now is requiring one, on a scenario like that, even when we did these on Edgewood, one has to be a little lower than the other ones for any kind of,
Dig deep,
any kind of, fish or whatever,
pitch for
to
drainage.
keep water in there, for a fish to be able to transfer through, even though the other 2 might be dry at some point. So the reason for the bigger one is it's gonna be a little bit lower than the other 2, but
Can't
it's,
worry about the fish.
yeah. So, any kind of, you never know, there might be some kind of
Oh, there
a
is.
extinct fish in there, but,
There's one of the most uniquest minnows in the state of Wisconsin in there, and then that goes from you can call the Regional Planning Commission, they'll tell you.
so.
Remember, Gary?
So, yeah, he's got the specs, I'll talk to him, and I'll try and get some of that information from him.
Okay, you're gonna take another crack at this, then we'll see it next
Okay.
Wednesday?
Put it on the agenda for the next meeting, Karen?
If John's ready, or the following.
I'll see if I have it ready.
Yeah, just update your figures.
Yeah,
And see if you can kind of cut and paste when you're
Yeah.
contracts or something.
We don't have to worry about the contract for the time being, since it's just
right.
preliminary figures for their budget approval.
As far as I'm concerned, you got until next spring to do that, so.
Yeah.
You know.
John, they're providing the materials, are they doing the trucking of those materials?
No, they're gonna have the materials delivered there. We will be taking away the old spoils, so everything we dig out, and discarding of them, and the pipes will get discarded of also, because he doesn't have the capability.
There's no fee for discarding that stuff, right? That's,
No.
okay.
I was just gonna take it to Crowell's and probably pick it,
Okay.
you know.
Follow it up by
Get an hour or
occasion.
Well, the fill
Dump out there, no berries.
itself, we could take occasion, because it's coming from their area, but,
You'll have to pay.
huh? Well, no,
For
I
a
don't
small
have to pay.
You can get in there for free.
So, But
I'm
yeah,
kidding.
so that's, yeah, I mean, as far as trucking, there will be, minimal for the, getting rid of the asphalt, we'll end up taking it down to Johnson's to recycle, and then
Okay.
getting rid of the fill, so, it's,
That's fine.
No, I'm willing to do this, just say, want to see a contract in place before we.
Well, I also want to see how it goes with our letter too.
okay.
One hand washes the other.
John, one of the things that Tom asked about, does that include any ditch work? Is there ditching involved in that?
No, we're just gonna do the
Seeding
culverts,
or-
Okay.
and everything, just install the culverts, so.
Okay.
As far as I know, if anything beyond that is, does not involve us.
Right.
All right, I'll make a motion to table items C and D until John has the information needed.
I'll second it.
All in favor of the motion?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries unanimously. Item E, authorize town chairman to sign Waukesha County MOU, memorandum of understanding by and between Waukesha County and the town for storing and displaying images with the county SharePoint environment.
And these were all approved by the town board. We just brought them back. If you saw the attorney's comments, you really don't have to make another motion unless you feel that there is attorney comments that are relevant.
Yeah. Well, my complaint is, we went and paid for the attorney's comments on this.
Mm-hmm.
If we were to send these comments to the Waukesha, they're not gonna change anything. So we've just paid for nothing, basically. And if we ignore them and vote to go ahead, we're held responsible for not following the attorneys. It's we're a rock and a hard place here on this one. I'm not comfortable with telling Tom to go sign this.
You already did.
What did John say when you talked to him?
You already authorized the town chairman to, in your last.
Based on attorney review, I thought.
No,
Yeah, Tom insisted on attorney review. Remember,
yeah, you
I
had
figured it
attorney
was
review, but you approved them,
based on attorney review.
right.
Well,
So,
here's the attorney review. and
I
don't agree with
understand
it.
that. Do you want to change your motion for approval?
Anybody else got any thoughts?
Well, I
on
was
this?
wondering, there's two items that the attorney wanted us to basically eliminate.
Okay.
That was in the general conditions, item 5. That the county agrees to identify, defend, and hold harmless the county from any claims and demands any person may have to make in any manner arising out of any matter related to this memorandum of understanding on the premises described herein.
I know, I've got it wrong. I read it all, I don't like it.
Okay.
I mean, that was the main one. The other one was to cross out the whole paragraph, even since it did not apply.
Yeah. Well, not applied, I don't have a problem for it, but were you saying that we're leaving ourselves open for things like costs?
Would the board, I mean, this is just a suggestion, would the board want me to send the legal comments to the county? These are all county contracts. If that helps you, I'd be happy to do that.
If I can ask a question on that, has that been done in the past at all? I mean, the county, when you and I talked, and we bounced this off because it struck me as funny that John would make all these comments after we did approve Tom to sign it. We thought it was kind of a pass-through, because the county had already written it, we assumed their lawyer looked at it.
Oh, yes.
If you get two lawyers looking at something, that doesn't mean they're gonna fly in the same, you know.
Yeah.
So now, I would highly doubt, Karen, that sending them this document is gonna change anything. Would you?
Well, I think it's worth a try to see what they say.
Is there a time limit on?
Yeah, that's the other thing.
No, the only thing is, I think we would let the county know that we don't have any problem with the concept. We
Right.
just have
So legally-
concerns that were brought to our attention and ask for a response. I'd be happy to do that.
Okay, yeah, ask for the comments back on that prior to the signature. How's
Yeah,
that?
that's,
I mean, that's an alternative
I'd
for
like to
you.
do that. 'Cause
I'm in favor of that, that's,
Yeah, I'm not real comfortable
since
jumping
there's not a
in
time
taking
frame that we're.
liability.
The county tax ones are, but I think you'll get a very quick answer.
Sure.
The memorandum of understanding for the digital, the shared, like I said, I will do that this evening. I'll send those to,
Okay.
Don Dittmar and Candy White immediately, and then you should have an answer by your next board meeting.
Sounds great. You know what we're looking for there.
Yes, yes.
Can we do the same thing with the
All four, if
network
that's,
and, yeah, the
all
whole
four?
9 yards?
is that okay with the board?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. For the other, I thought the first one was the worst on comments.
Which one now?
The first one here, I thought the other ones weren't too bad.
The net? The internet? For the network agreement? I'm sorry.
Yeah, trying to find
Which line item would be, G or H?
Network agreement was, national agreement, network was F. MOU was E. Network is F. Data processing is G.
Yeah, I'm just looking for the attorney's comments here on,
It's on the same as the MOU.
And I think G and H are,
It was item 2 on the MOU, Jeff,
Yeah.
like the second page.
and there is a difference, just so you know, a difference of the town attorney's opinion and corp counsel's opinion on G and H.
Yeah, right?
I mean, John had comments on all the contracts.
Oh, yes. Yes, 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 he always has comments.
But I can tell you, the town's in no position to do any of these.
yeah.
But like I said, if you want all four, I'd be happy to do that,
Yeah, why don't we
whatever
do
you
that?
decide.
Why not? I mean,
Why
if
not?
we're gonna do it, let's
Send them all back.
put it all to bed,
And
With
you
the comments,
see what they say.
yeah.
please.
Should we hang on to John's letters?
Yeah, I keep the whole.
You want a motion?
Yeah.
You want a motion for that, Karen? Authorize you to,
If you feel you need that, you could just instruct me to do it. And-
I just instruct you to
Okay,
send out a letter to the county
okay.
with the attorney's comments.
For E, F, G, and H, correct?
Yep.
Okay.
Just have them see what they say.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it'd be nice to see what they say.
Charles will fly a kite.
And they might give a letter saying, don't worry about it, yeah.
Or we might call Mike, hey. Okay, I've got it, sir.
All right. Item I, American Tower letter.
Yeah, I sent, I can't find mine right now. I did send an email copy of the letter that I sent to him, to Karen for distribution, but I didn't find it in my pack, did you?
This one?
Oh, yeah. Thanks for reaching out to me. No. I sent him the one after last meeting where he said, we're not interested. And the board said, let him know we're really not interested in it this time.
And I emailed his response.
I didn't see anything after I told him I wasn't interested in
Did you see, I thought he said he sent you a letter about, this is a standard letter. We
Oh, yeah.
send.
it. Where I questioned whether we got that by mistake or not, he did reply, that's what's on here. But then I sent him a short one, and I don't know why I can't get my hands on it right now. Oh, that's why I put it on Macy's. My letter was 9/25, Jonathan Colasso, Thank you for your reply to our questions. At this time, the Vernon Town Board will pass on your offer. Our hopes are to maintain a relationship beyond the 5-year contract. Our hopes that our technology will only enhance the need for higher use of the towers. We thank you for your offer and offer our sincere wishes for your quick and safe recovery from the storm. Best regards, Town of Vernon Supervisor Meek. And that was in response to his, thanks for reaching out to me. I apologize for the delay, and I went through all the issues. So it's a done deal as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah, I don't think Tom's really interested in pursuing this.
No, everybody at the meeting last time just asked me to write the letter saying thanks but no thanks, so I did.
And Ed, I just want to let you know that some people in our community, other communities, everyone is getting that standard letter, whether it's a government agency or individuals that have, anybody that has a tower. So
Oh, yeah.
Just so you know.
Well, see, that's what I mentioned to him earlier. An individual has a tax advantage on that. We don't.
Right.
So, being a nonprofit, we don't have a tax advantage, which was a big sales point.
Moving on, item L, use of Vernon Activity Center.
Yeah, I guess that's me. My recommendation is we close the place down, and I think it's a health hazard. I think the longer we stay in there, the worse it's gonna get. We're not doing any maintenance in there. We've cut off the cleaning of the place. It's only being used for storage for the rec department, which I...
bills, air conditioning bills, and electric bills.
Well, yes, and we're paying insurance on it and everything. I think it's a big waste of money. I think we should make provisions to get rid of the building. That's my feeling on it. I don't see any foreseeable use of that building other than storage, which is basically can be utilized someplace else. And I was talking with John, and I want to look at the idea of possibility, is there storage available up at Fire Station 2? I haven't been up there in some time, and I'd like to see exactly what we have up there and what's being utilized up there in regard to...
The old weight room is pretty good size. I mean, I don't know what's in there right now.
In the back of Station 2?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a decent room.
Pretty good
If
size.
there's a room up in the front that's not being used, there's...
I know this is convenient for storage of rec equipment, but...
Have you talked to Mike at all?
No, I have had one day get an opportunity to see them, you know. But anyway, I think this building is non-essential. I think we should seriously consider closing it down and not using it. My understanding, like we were told last month, the only place we're using it is for the babysitting class. And if I had a daughter, I wouldn't want her going over there in that building. I think it's a disaster.
We had to fight the bugs in place there.
Oh, yeah.
John, what would it take to winterize this? We just turn the heat off and not worry about pipes freezing or
Yeah,
anything?
we'd have to turn all the water off, drain the water a little bit, and it probably wouldn't be all that much really, but yeah, the only thing he's using is the garage area right now. So it's cold storage the way it is. So
Yeah.
anything inside is irrelevant really. He's got some computers, I don't know what he's got in there for. There's really no computers in there, it's just
His storage, but even in defense of Mike, you know, putting some of his equipment in there, it smells
it's
so bad,
I went over there last week and I picked up a couple dead mice in the floor down there, and you know, it's pretty nasty.
Mildewy, the whole nine yards.
Yeah.
It's got mold in there.
There's some records down there still that we could probably bring up and we'd have to bring over here or something. I don't know what you would want to do with them. They're old town records, but you'd have to look at them, see if
That's what I'm
it's...
saying. Maybe we should look at Station 2
Well,
and see what...
I think for the short term now, we should just plan on winterizing and turning the heat off so we have no more utility bills.
Cold storage period.
Just cold storage.
Okay.
Yeah.
Gary, how much is in the basement over there?
There's
It's got quite a bit of
Red stuff?
yeah, Rex, it's all
Balls?
extra balls and extra gloves. and-
That's just in the garage area. The basement just has some folding chairs that we store over there.
Yeah,
And just the water softener and
that could be moved.
there's a few, I mean, that's all stuff.
That's why I wanna go with you and we wanna do an evaluation of
I
Station 2.
mean,
to
the
see if
amount of
it's-
records that are over there is maybe, you know, it'll fit on this desktop, you know, it's not
Can I make a
overwhelming.
motion to have John and Gary go over there, take a look, see if there's any reason So leave the heat, power, water, if we can shut it down,
We can
strictly
take a walk
for
over
cold
there.
storage,
Let me
come
know
back
what
and
day.
let us know,
Yeah.
and we'll just,
I wanna
Cut everything off.
get together with John anyway, because if there is anything that needs to be stored, we wanna find an alternate source. We don't have room here, we know that.
then you probably wanna move the station.
That's why I thought Station 2.
And that was my thought originally when we went through these records,
For
then we
carriage
have this,
boxes and
yeah.
stuff. Well, you did look at that at that time.
Well, I'm built in a storage room up here, yeah, we got it half drywalled and we just haven't got time to finish it, but
But they're working on it.
for most part, we got
First
her stuff covered.
Yeah.
Whatever's over there,
Do you remember what the fire department had in that?
oh yeah, there's the whole back wall, it's got wooden cabinets with doors with locks on them.
Yeah.
That's why I said originally, it would have been ideal. So
But is there anything in those at this point?
There's some truck parts and
No,
miscellaneous.
nothing, it couldn't be, no.
Maybe in Ed's motion, he could include you both looking at Fire Station 2, right? Because your motion indicated, Supervisor Moline, that you authorized the DPW Director and Supervisor Wildy to research winterizing the VAC and researching Fire Station number 2.
Right. And by winterizing everything, electricity, the whole shut it off.
And bringing the information back to the board, correct, Supervisor?
Yes, for approval. Yeah.
Okay,
You
I'll second the
talk to
motion.
Mike soon.
I'll second the motion. Yeah. I'll second the motion.
Any more discussion? Hearing none, all in favor of the motion?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries unanimously.
Gentlemen, I just want to let you know that
He's here. Good
Chairman
report.
Thomas Bird is watching you.
What's that?
Chairman Thomas Bird is watching you.
Is?
He is, he just sent me a text.
I hope it's cold in
He's
Colorado.
taking,
Yeah.
he said he's taking notes.
Alright, item N, discussion of fees for zoning permits for 2018.
Supervisor Millies and board members, I put that in your packet. Not that you have to make any decision, because you are going to come back and look at the entire fee schedule soon, but I just wanted to give you an opportunity to look at what Jamie recommended for the new fees for zoning permits. And I also included an Excel spreadsheet that, shows what they put in, and I actually put in the both bills so you could see. That's in your packet, only, for you to reflect on, because when we bring the fee schedule back, unless you object, I would put Jamie's recommendations, or if you think we should up them more based on the both bills, but that's purely in your packet, just for you to, look what the actual fees are related to our new zoning administration, because we don't want to make money on it, but we don't want to lose.
Yeah, Nancy said you can't.
Right.
Make a profit.
And
Question for
basically,
you, if I
we'll be
may.
approving the fee schedule once we have the 2018 budget finalized.
Right, yeah, and sometimes you do it a little bit beforehand, but as you see, the chief has done his. Vince said there's no change on here. Zoning is one. There's a couple other areas. I do want to talk to Mike Zolecki about his recommendations. He also talked about increasing the facility use for baseball diamonds. There's a couple small ones, but the only reason this is in your packet, just so that you could see the Excel spreadsheet, you could see the actual bills from both. I think Jamie's recommendation is applicable, but that's really your decision.
I didn't see anything from the fire department.
That's not in there, Ed.
The only thing I saw was the new burning permit.
Yeah, he did give you, when he brought his budget, he gave you a list of what his recommendations, and that's also.
That's my other stuff.
Right, that's it, yeah. But I just, like I said, you don't have to make any decisions tonight, but I just wanted you to take a look at what Jamie recommended, and you can see the actual fees. So he's really close on, what we're actually.
Well, he gave examples that average it out. Question, if Jamie's booted up to a different position and the new guy's taken over, is he at a different hourly rate than Jamie, do we know?
We'll find out.
Would you?
Yep.
Because that could impact that as well. We gotta be careful if Jamie's making 10,
Well, you
15
have-
bucks an hour more.
The person that's doing that now, Sean is the person, he's, the turnaround rate, I just have to tell you, as far as zoning goes, you can talk to anybody that's done a zone, and I'm not bashing the county at all, because they're a lot busier than we are. But I can send, if the petitioner brings us everything that's related to that zoning permit, there's sometimes I have it that day. That's how fast those zoning permits are coming out.
From Sean.
So customer service in that regard is phenomenal. I mean, like I said, if the petitioner has everything there, a lot of times I can't send it. If it's not a complete zoning permit, I can't send it. But I just wanted, I mean, customer service is great.
Lot better, huh?
Yeah. But that, like I said, Supervisor Millie's, no decisions needed. It's just for your information.
No decision, okay.
All right, moving on to item N. Resolution 2017-06-A, resolution to establish the Town of Vernon fee schedule for 2018.
This one, gentlemen, you do have to make a decision on only because we'd like to put this in the newsletter and subsequent newsletters to let the public know that, number one, in 2018, they now will be, they will be able to get a burning permit for $10. And before we can put any type of fee increase, you would have to actually adopt this resolution, changing for 2018 a $10 open burning permit for the residents. So the only reason that one's a little bit faster is if you want it in the next newsletter, just to let the public know this is a change that's coming for you. That's the only reason I request that you change that, only that fee.
You get two and two?
Yep.
I did two.
Oh, I thought maybe you didn't have one.
No, I don't know, I already got two.
2018, the burn permit? for the-
Yes. In fact, I asked for it in Word because we'd format it a little easier, you know, for the public.
Or can you leave the year off and just have a date issued, so you know it's good for a year, and a year?
Yeah,
So you're not changing it each year?
I mean, it's not a hard thing to do, you know.
Oh, well, yeah, I got that too, but did you get two of these?
Yeah.
All right, is there a motion to approve resolution number 2017-06?
Want one? So move.
I'll second it. Any more discussion? All in
Sign
favor? Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries
I'm so-
Sign it
unanimously.
tonight?
No, yes,
Gotta wait for
yes.
Tom, or?
No.
All right, Item O, authorize town clerk to extend the date for submittals for proposals for municipal insurance.
Gentlemen, you did see the emails coming from, excuse me, the emails coming from our current insurance, both of our agents and multiple agents. I did send you just one portion of one of the packets that, you know, go to the insurance company. When I put the RFP on the town's website, I didn't put, there's a ton of additional information that goes on that isn't relevant to the public. And to do a 2-week turnover is not feasible. So they're asking at a minimum, the end of the month or first part of November.
What's that at the time to get a budget figures?
Well, I can tell you, you know, I'm gonna double check your numbers for your budget, but I don't think, you know, I mean, this is just speculation. I don't think you're gonna see a huge change. No, there might be one advantage, but I don't think it's gonna be a deal breaker for your budget.
Okay.
I wanna pull a couple of numbers, you know, when you meet on the 11th for insurance. But if you do the end of the month, end of October, you'll still be,
You think that's given enough time?
Yeah.
No, I never saw anything you sent us put a specific time frame on it.
When do we have to have the budget actually done by, so you can?
Just gotta have 15 days notice for the public
Right.
meeting.
So what's our absolute end date, how far November?
oh, you can go to, as far as adapting a budget?
Yes.
The only thing, I mean, you can go into November, it's not a problem. The only thing it delays is the tax bills going out to the public. And believe it or not, they start calling Lorene in
Our
November.
bank wants.
Right.
I wouldn't.
You're not
Send me
gonna,
my tax bill later, I don't mind.
Yeah.
I don't think you're gonna see
That's fine in 2020.
I don't think you're gonna get a lot of bids either.
So you're pretty confident the end of the month would allow?
Oh, yes. If you,
I was just wondering if we went into that final week, November 3rd, that Friday.
Yeah.
that gives them enough time.
I'm saying, as long as it gives us enough time to get it out, yeah.
You wanna make a motion?
Yeah, I'll make a motion to extend the
Submittal
insurance
date?
Quotes.
RFP
RFQ.
to be in by the end of Friday, November 3rd.
I would imagine some of them are working on them already, and anticipating that they're gonna make us a middle.
Yes.
I'll second
What do
that.
you think, Karen?
Yes, I think that's exactly you can see. I haven't sent you everything, but what's happening now is every agent is contacting the town and asking for specific information. Some insurance companies bid on some portions, others, you know, so that's what's happening now.
R&R cover basically everything we're asking for.
R&R handles our buildings and our lawnmowers and, but Horton is the big carrier for
Okay,
our,
so between Horton and R&R, if we stuck with those, we'd probably be real close to where we're at right now, I bet you. Huh?
oh, yes, because, like
So
I said.
push come to shove, I got my answer.
And I don't think, you know, the insurance market, there might be one area the town might, I really don't know what's gonna happen, but if this one agent comes through, I think you might see some savings, but it's not gonna be, you know, I mean, insurance is expensive,
Well,
but at least you're bidding it
people we're dealing with
out.
aren't real insurers, are they? They're Horton is. Is R&R an actual insurance company or a broker?
They're both brokers,
They're
and,
both brokers. So
because
they're all gonna go to
municipal-
the same company to get the
well,
quote.
and you've seen the policy, municipal insurance is contracted out to so many different vendors,
Yeah.
depending on the portion of the insurance policy.
Just depends on what big vendors got the markups, that's all.
I mean, we've seen our claims department not change with Horton, but like I said, I think if you give them to November 3rd, you're gonna be fine. You know, you're gonna be fine, because you're gonna budget for, you would think you'd anticipate your budget based on what your numbers were last year, because even if God forbid we'd have an accident, that's not gonna change now. It's gonna change, in several years from now, so.
Okay. He moved, I seconded, did we?
Any more discussion? All right, all in favor of the motion?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries unanimously. Authorize clerk to change invoice number 3797 to $36.10 for refuse and recycling services.
As you know, in taxation and finance, no one can make any type of changes to any invoice. What happened here is the resident asked for service, and of course, Advance is very good about getting everything out. Unfortunately, they ran out of carts, so we called for service for 2 homes in that area, and the first week or so, we thought they were getting service. They were using their home dumpster it was a brand new construction. So she had said, I mean, it really isn't fair to charge her for service that she isn't getting. So my request is that we void this invoice and code it. I mean, it's not a lot of money, but it's the principle. We don't change any invoices
They're not gonna get
without.
girls until 9/28, Karen, or service?
That's when they actually did get service.
Oh, I'm sorry, it is past 9, so they got, okay.
Right, and it's not a lot of money, but we don't change any invoices unless you
I'll
approve it.
move to refund
No,
Danny and Mary Ann Meyer.
No, you just authorize the invoice to be voided and the
Oh,
correct.
that's a void,
Yeah.
yeah.
Authorize the clerk to
void.
void it and apply the 3619, right,
Okay, from the 4104. Is
yes,
that everything we
that,
need?
that's correct.
Got it.
Is there a second?
I'll second it.
Sure, I did the hard
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. On correspondence announcements. Only thing I have to announce is I attended North's 100th anniversary party, and that is quite a place.
Who, what's that again?
The North's 100th
Oh, yeah.
anniversary party. Ben?
I got the pen.
So, yeah, learned quite a bit there. I didn't realize what they had to offer there at that
It's
facility.
huge, 1,000 acres. And that acrobatic show is something else. Those kids are phenomenal.
Gary, any announcements?
Mm, I also did go to Norris's 100, and I want to thank them for inviting us, and also I did have a conversation with one of the counselors and got some information regarding their staffing and their amount of people that they are taking care of. I was kind of surprised. Also, Public Health and Safety had a meeting on, last week, and we're probably gonna skip October since it's been kind of stable. The only item of discussion that came up that pertains really at this present time is the train horns, since there was a complaint in regard to the train horns, and the only one that basically applies in the town of Vernon is on Benson Avenue. And conversations at staff and then with the attorney, we'd be opening up a can of worms if we went to the Railroad Commission and required or asked for crossing guards and lights and everything, because my understanding is the town would be responsible for probably installing them, and that would be astronomical in regard to the cost for basically a dead-end road. So at this time, the Public Health and Safety is not recommending any further action in regard to the train horns. It's only going to get worse, from my understanding, as there's more and more trains are coming through the town of Vernon, and they're getting bigger. And we've dealt with the railroad before, and it's basically like we're dealing with the 500-pound gorilla. They beat you over the head with federal law, and there isn't much you can do about it. So at this time, I think we'll just pass on this because of the impracticality of going further down the road with this issue. Other than that, that's about all I have.
I don't know about the rest of you, I was kind of impressed to find out we finally caught one of the solicitors and actually had a judgment against him. And boy, that guy, if it wasn't bad luck, he'd have none. He gets arrested for soliciting, this guy can't get there in time to put the bond together, so they take him to jail. He's asked to take his shoes off, they find marijuana in his shoe. This guy was not having a good day. But at least the word is out now, I believe, that you need a license to come and solicit in Vernon. So it was good to see we're actually progressing with our ordinances here. That's all I think. I was at, Norris also.
I just had a comment on one item which we were, Karen had forwarded emails to us. I'm particularly concerned about the one from Wisconsin Towns Association. I don't know who read that. Reference to dark stores and Walgreens loopholes. Very deceiving on the part of the Towns Association. I don't appreciate it. As an appraiser, if and I could be doing this or someone else as an assessor, we have very similar backgrounds, very similar techniques. I'm appraising a store, let's call it AAA Hardware, did a fantastic business. And while I own that store, I'm getting ready to sell it, I put what we call a deed restriction on there, and I say, there is now hereby a covenant not to compete put on this store. What I'm saying is, no one can buy that store now and run it as a hardware because I'm moving 3 blocks up the road. What has that done to the value of that store? What the Towns Association is, they haven't said it flat out, but what they're implying is that, okay, even though the value and the potential income of that building has now been decreased, it should still be assessed as it was. Otherwise, a reduction in that assessment will be reflected in the residential tax rate. Right. That part is true. However, does that make the technique right? And they're putting a lot of pressure on a lot of people to defend the practice that there is now. If Walgreens was getting the equivalent of $25 per square foot return, that drugstore B coming along is going to be assessed at the same, even though there could be a restricted use put on the building. So what they're doing, this Towns Association, is kind of deceptive. I'm acquainted with the policy going through the legislature, and we have got to assess businesses, commercial properties, in a fair way based upon what income they can generate. If you're appraising a residential property, you basically use what we call a market comparison approach. Okay, this property sold for this, very similar in size and so on and so forth. With commercial, you can generally not find comparable buildings. So you do tend to use what we call an income approach. What can that building produce per square foot? So they call it the Walgreens dark store loophole is what the Towns Association is referring to it, and others are as well. So I just want the board and our residents to be aware, this is a very misleading email. I'm sure people will pick it up in the papers and that, but an assessor should be assessing the potential income of that property as the new owner is going to be able to generate it, not as some Class A.
What am I misunderstanding there? Because they're asking, they won the case on that dark store. That one,
Yes, correct.
one store, one dark. They said it's an empty building. As such, we don't have the sales, correct?
Correct.
So without the sales, we should charge as an empty building, not as a sales potential, like you said. You look at the sales potential. Well, if they sold there at one time, why would they change that to a empty building rate and then have to reestablish it again if a similar business goes into it? In the meantime, I as a taxpayer pick up the bill. The difference of that property has to go someplace.
That isn't the intent to drop it.
Am I understanding that
Raise
wrong?
it again. But let's take a term that which comes from the Village of McGuanago, lighted areas.
Yeah.
We all have seen that in reference to our
Okay.
territorial boundaries. Okay, so let's say the store is now blighted, whereas it wasn't before. Should that new business owner, commercial owner, pay the same per square foot basis value
But that's
as the prior was?
Isn't that a
Well,
whole different
it's not
scenario?
differentiated though. It's not differentiated. They just call them dark store loopholes.
Hmm.
So it's very deceiving. In some cases, yes.
But I thought it was very
Jeff,
specific
You
to
shouldn't
that.
let them,
I
they
can't
should
remember
not
the
be.
town.
Okay, we gotta get moving
It was a
on.
newspaper
No,
not
it's-
that long ago.
Ed, it's his report, you shouldn't be debating.
Absolutely, yeah.
So
Yeah.
I'm just commenting
It's
on the
interesting,
email.
but-
That's
Not
correspondence.
legal, it's correspondence.
So
That's not big.
it is rather deceiving if you read it.
Yeah.
And true, the burden will be shifted somewhat to residential.
Yeah.
That's the way it is in the real world. I mean, you've gotta, you can't just justify something and justify the means.
Want to buy some Walgreens, huh?
Sharon, was there a sheriff's report in the packet? And,
No, there was not.
okay, DPW report?
Yeah, I just wanna let you guys know, we started the brush pickup on Monday, and, it seems to be, I'm taking down a little bit from what we picked up so far. It's just, every time you see it's down a little bit, we hit a subdivision that's full of it, you know, so it's to be determined yet how that's gonna be. I have the grinder scheduled for October 19th, to Thursday, so that'll be 3 weeks basically, or 2 weeks from today. So we got all next week yet, so. The new truck is at Lakeside. We picked it up from the pier last Friday, brought it down to Lakeside. They had to do one more, thing, put a window in the door. It was actually at an equipment show today. We, went to an equipment show down in Greenfield, where I ran into some people with LED lighting, and I know we talked about these street lights. And this guy, I'm gonna call, I got 2 different people that were there to get some quotes on some lighting. I guess what we need to find out is who's responsible for those lights? Are they ours? And if we're gonna replace them, are we paying for them? Are we gonna have them replaced, or, you know? But this guy's telling me the one he had there was $300 light. Now, I did a little research on the internet. I found some up to $1,200. So I guess there's quite a range. This guy would be willing to come out and take a look at the scenario, see what kind of lighting, what we would need in each circumstance, and kind of give us an idea of what we're looking at. I know we've talked about replacing these lights and maybe upgrading the LEDs. So I just wanted to share that with you because I happened to run into these guys too.
Would he also tell you how many years before we start saving money?
Well, his scenario was if you pay $300 a light and you're paying $300 a year, and the old one, he says you're probably looking at a turnaround of 2.5 to 3 years to pay for itself.
Payback?
That was the one guy that I talked to, you know, so there was two different people. And then I've actually got a connection, I'm gonna find out a little more tomorrow through We Energies as to who to talk to over there about following up on this through them. See if they could maybe throw something into the mix for us too, you know, or help us change it. So with that, pretty much that's about it.
Have you-
for that.
Have you called Wisconsin Electric?
Not yet. I said tomorrow. My wife works there, and I just talked to her. Talked to her. She knew somebody. She says, yes, I do, and I'll.
Could help you out?
She said she would steer me in the right direction.
Okay.
So, and then I just got one more thing that Gary and I had talked about last week. The fire department keeps bringing up these standpipes for these storage tanks in these subdivisions.
Right.
Now, when I was told by Brian that those were all handed off to the fire department to maintain and take care of. Now, these people are calling because they need to be painted, they're getting rusty and whatnot. I don't know if they're even using them, I'm not gonna say they are or not, I don't know.
I think that's in the ordinance.
Well, what John's concerned, he's not trying to advocate, but he had an inquiry from a citizen, and they look like hell.
Yeah.
They're all rusted away, and they look like they're not being maintained.
Are they being
And
used?
that's the thing.
That might be something we should put on next
It
week.
needs to go on the agenda. We need to put that
Yeah.
on the agenda. Get the fire chief in here, because
Yeah.
he says it's not his
I
responsibility.
think he needs to read the ordinance.
He
I believe it says
told
it
the
is.
citizen to call me. First, this guy called me last fall already about it, and I told him the same thing. It wasn't our responsibility. And he came back again now, doing the same thing. Well, then the chief told him to call me and have me go up there and pressure wash it, so they would paint them. I said, let's just figure out whose they are, who's supposed to maintain them.
Let's put an agenda next time.
Yeah,
Okay,
Yeah.
that's
And
fine.
we need to have a conversation with the fire chief,
Because
to have him here
it-
to discuss it too, because it's his opinion, it's not his responsibility, but we need to find out usage, we need to find out maintenance, we need to find out a lot of different things in regard to these things.
Right. And I
Are they
think
changing the
some of
water
these-
in them?
Well, and that's the thing, I was asked if they're even using them, you know,
They
the
were
people are a
tested.
little upset that they're paying for them through their association. Well, I don't know if it was paid for up front or whatnot, but. you
Let's
know,
just move it to the agenda, 'cause
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure
Okay.
that's in an ordinance right
Yeah.
now.
Okay.
Can you get
Just need to look it
information
up.
together for that, Karen?
Mhm.
Regarding to where they're at? I know there's approximately 4 of them in the town of Vernon.
I have 3 of them I know of offhand,
Yeah.
well, Peck's Pond would be the.
Yeah, well, that's,
That's in the
that one, we're
village.
not worrying about that one, but. Yeah, I told John we need to put it on the agenda.
Anything else, Sean?
Nope, that's
All
it.
right. Karen? Clerk report?
I just needed to report that the chairman did file the 2018 ERU stormwater letter. It's on file for $22. I know he talked about 23, but he'd like to do the $22 for the ERU for the stormwater for 2018. Also, as Supervisor Moline indicated, that the Waukesha County Sheriff's Department did call a resident in Heather Ridge, an alert resident, called them right away, and the Sheriff's Department indicated they called the town to ask permission to charge the fee up front because the person was from out of state. Obviously, you saw what happened, but they did, just so you know, Captain Lucero called right away and wanted that, and I did talk to the town attorney to make sure that we had all the fees that were applicable to that fine. So I want to thank the resident for being aware and calling the Sheriff's Department because they did not have a solicitor's permit. And you did see the letter that was sent to the attorney today also. I just want to remind the board members the deadline for the newsletter is October 16th. So if you do plan on getting an article, if you could let me know, that would be terrific. And that is all I have for now.
One question regarding that fine. Do we need to pay an attorney for that? We don't have municipal court assigned to this, so are we gonna get,
Anytime a citation is issued, our town attorney has to appear in court.
So we're gonna get charged back for the attorney appearing?
Yes. Anytime a citation
We gotta
is
get a
issued.
municipal court going.
All right, moving on to finances. Accounts payable dated October 5th, 2017.
Gentlemen, I just wanted to let you know that on the occupancy permit for the individual, it's the last item, has no change in the dollar amount. It was issued to the wrong person. Just wanted to let you know that it was voided to that person and refunded back to the builder who actually paid for the occupancy. Doesn't have any change on the dollar amount, but just so that you know, I did indicate that to Chairman Byrd and to the treasurer and put the voided check right in the batch so the chairman and the treasurer could see that also.
I saw
The
it.
chairman did tell me to be back this week and assign checks if
Yes, on Saturday. And they all can wait for
Okay.
Chairman Byrd's signature, yes.
As long as you and Lorraine are here, somebody can stamp those, right, for the third name?
He said he wanted to come in and, he said he'd come in and sign them on Saturday.
unless they have to get out tomorrow, then they can stay home.
Yeah.
There's none that need to go
There's
out
nothing,
tomorrow.
no.
No problem. Okay. I have no questions on this, I'm ready to prove it if you guys have any other questions. Nope. Okay, I'd like to make a motion to approve batch number 20171005 in the amount of $28,455.03.
I'll second.
Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor? Opposed? Motion carries unanimously. Are there any manual checks in there?
There are no manual checks.
Approval of town board minutes from September 18th. That's with the finance meeting.
Make a motion to approve the minutes from Monday, September 18th.
I'll second those. Any discussion?
Nope.
Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Minutes from September 21st.
Good chance for you.
Yeah, I do think
I'll make a motion to approve the minutes of September 21st for the supervisors meeting.
Is there a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries unanimously. Next town board meeting date is October 19th. Is there any public comments? Public comments? Any public comments? Hearing none. Motion to go into closed session for consideration of possible action on a motion to convene into executive session under Wisconsin statute 19.85. Paragraph 1, subsection E, deliberating, negotiating, and purchasing of public properties, investing in public funds, or conducting other specific public business whenever competitive or bargaining reasons require a closed session, more specifically for the negotiations for a board agreement with the Village of Quantico, and 19.85, paragraph 1, section C, considering employment, promotion, compensation, performance evaluation data of any public employee over which the governing body has jurisdiction or exercise responsibility. More specifically, the Vernon Fire Chief, including the closed session, are town board members and town clerk. Motion requires a roll call vote. Is there a motion?
So moved.
Second.
Supervisor Jeff Milley,
Yes.
Supervisor Gary Wilde,
Yes.
Supervisor Ed Moline,
Yes.
Supervisor Bill Craig.
Yes.
Mr. Acting Chairman, you have a quorum of your board that has voted unanimously to go into closed session. So, note for the record that you're going into session.
Closed session at 7 o'clock. Take a 5-minute break.
Thanks for showing, folks.
Yep.